Virgo, don't scroll past this. Something in your life has been frozen, stalled, waiting. Tonight, that ends, not next week, tonight. 6 changes are about to hit your life at once, and the first one already started before this video ends. Virgo, let's start with something true. You have not been sitting still because you're lazy or because you don't know what you want. You've been sitting still because some quiet part of you knew the timing wasn't right yet. And that is a very different thing. For the last few weeks, your ruling planet, Mercury, the planet of thought, decision and communication, has been moving backward through the sky, retracing its steps through the sign of Cancer. In plain terms, the messenger of your own mind has been walking in reverse. That is why you've reread the same text message 4 times before sending it. That is why you've said, "Let me think about it more in the last 3 weeks than in the last 3 months." That is why decisions that used to take you 5 minutes have taken 5 days. You were never indecisive, Virgo. You were waiting for your own planet to stop moving backward. And still, you kept going. You still showed up for everyone who needed you, still handled the details other people forgot, still held the version of yourself together that everyone else relies on, even while, quietly, you were the one who needed someone to notice you were waiting too. Tonight, that final stretch begins to break. Mercury doesn't officially turn direct until July 23rd, 4 days from now. But if you've lived through a retrograde before, you already know the secret. The shift always happens inside you first. The sky simply confirms later what your body already felt. And there's something else happening tonight that most people watching this will completely miss. Look up, if you can, right after sunset. You'll find a slim curved blade of silver light low in the western sky, a waxing crescent moon only 5 days old moving through Libra. Libra sits directly beside your sign on the great wheel of the zodiac. For you, specifically, that placement lights up the part of your chart connected to self-worth and personal value. This tiny sliver of light is quietly building towards something larger. It always does. So here is what is actually happening on July 19th, Virgo. Your ruling planet is in the final, most intense hours of its retrograde. The moon is building light in the exact part of the sky tied to your worth. And underneath all of that technical language is one simple truth. The waiting is not being extended tonight. It is finally, quietly, being released. You are going to feel this before you understand it. That's normal. That's how real change always announces itself to a Virgo, not as a lightning bolt, but as a held breath finally let go. 6 things are shifting because of this. Not someday, not eventually. Beginning tonight in an order that will surprise you. Let's walk through them one at a time, because the 6th one is the one your entire waiting period was actually preparing you for. Change 1. The fog in your mind finally lifts. You know the feeling. Lying awake, running the same 5 sentences through your head, wondering if you said the wrong thing, made the wrong choice, missed an answer that was sitting right in front of you. That mental static has a source, Virgo, and it isn't a flaw in you. It has been Mercury, your own ruling planet, moving in reverse through your inner world. Starting tonight, that static begins to quiet. You'll notice it in small ways first. A decision that felt impossible last week will suddenly feel obvious. A conversation you've been avoiding will suddenly feel simple to have. You'll catch yourself thinking, almost by accident, "Oh, I already know what I want to do." That clarity isn't luck. It's your own mind finally being handed back to you. You might feel it first in something small, finally replying to the message you've drafted and deleted 6 times, or picking the restaurant without spiraling through every possible option first. It won't feel like fireworks. It will feel like exhaling a breath you didn't realize you were holding. Change 2. A sign arrives that you cannot explain away. Virgo, You are the analyst of the zodiac. You need proof. You need evidence. You are the sign least likely to believe in a coincidence, which is exactly why the universe is about to send you one so specific, so perfectly timed, that your rational mind won't be able to talk you out of it. It might be a number, the same 3 digits on a receipt, a clock, a license plate, appearing 3 times in one day. It might be a lyric that says, almost word for word, the exact sentence you whispered to yourself last night. It might be a stranger, someone you'll never see again, who says one sentence that answers a question you never asked out loud. It might even be a dream, vivid enough that you wake up certain it meant something even before your logical mind tries to talk you out of that certainty. This isn't superstition, and it isn't random. When the mind quiets, and yours is quieting right now for the first time in weeks, you finally become able to notice what has been trying to reach you the entire time. The signs were never missing. You were simply too loud inside your own head to hear them. Pay attention over the next 48 hours, Virgo. Something is going to repeat itself in a way that makes the hair on your arms stand up. When it happens, you'll know exactly what this video was talking about. Take a screenshot if you need to. Some proof is worth keeping. These 2 changes, the quiet mind and the undeniable sign, are only the beginning. Because once your inner world clears, Virgo, the outer world has no choice but to start rearranging itself to match it. That's exactly what happens next. Change 3. The situation that's been frozen finally moves. Think about the one thing right now that has been sitting completely still. The job application with no response. The person who said, "I'll let you know," and then went quiet. The decision that isn't yours to make, but that you've been waiting on anyway, checking your phone more than you'd like to admit. Virgo, that stillness, the kind that makes you check your phone one more time, even when you tell yourself you won't, is about to break. Tonight's moon is moving through Libra, the sign of decisions, agreements, and other people finally choosing a side. Paired with Mercury's final approach toward direct motion, the planets governing decisions and other people's choices are leaning the same direction for the first time in weeks. Whatever has been sitting in someone else's hands is about to move back into motion. This won't necessarily look dramatic. It may simply be an email landing in your inbox that you'd stopped expecting, a call from a number you'd given up on, a yes after a silence so long you'd already built a version of your life that assumed no. Let yourself be surprised, Virgo. You've earned the right to be surprised by something good. Maybe it's smaller than that. A scheduling conflict finally resolving itself. A delayed shipment finally arriving. A plan that fell through weeks ago suddenly finding a new form. None of it will feel like effort on your part. It will simply feel like the world remembering to move again. Change 4. A person finally shows their true position. This is the change that will hit closest to home. Someone in your life, you already know exactly who, you pictured them the moment I said this, has been living in a grey area with you, not fully in, not fully out. And Virgo, few things exhaust you more than an unclear relationship because your mind cannot rest in ambiguity. You'd rather have a hard truth than a comfortable maybe. You've replayed their words more times than you'd ever admit out loud, searching for a hidden meaning that would finally make the picture make sense. Tonight begins the end of that grey area. This person is going to move one direction or the other. Either they finally step forward with the clarity and consistency you've been quietly hoping for, or they finally step back, releasing you from a limbo you were too loyal to walk away from yourself. Both outcomes are the same gift, wearing a different face. Closure. And closure, for a Virgo, is not a loss. It's oxygen. It's the thing that finally lets you stop analysing a situation that was never going to resolve itself through your effort alone. Something outside of you is choosing right now, so you no longer have to carry the weight of an answer that was never really yours to give. Whichever way it turns, Virgo, you will finally know where you actually stand. And knowing, for you, is always better than wondering. Change 5. Your body sends a signal you cannot ignore. Virgo, of every sign in the zodiac, you are the one most connected to your physical body. You are the sign of health, of daily ritual, of the small habits that quietly hold a life together. And your body has been trying to tell you something for weeks now, through tiredness that sleep doesn't fix, or tension in your shoulders that has nowhere to go, or an appetite that's felt slightly off. That was never random. Your body has been mirroring the same stuck, waiting energy as everything else in your life. And starting tonight, as that outer waiting begins to release, your body begins to release too. You may notice a sudden burst of energy you weren't expecting. A full night of real sleep after weeks of shallow rest. A craving to move, to stretch, to walk outside and breathe air that feels different than it did yesterday. Your nervous system is exhaling. Let it. This is also a good time to notice what your body no longer wants. Maybe it's a food that used to comfort you and now just sits heavy. Maybe it's a routine you kept out of guilt rather than love. Virgo, you don't need to overhaul your entire life tonight. Just notice. Your body has been quietly keeping score this whole time, and it is finally ready to tell you the truth. Change 6. Unexpected recognition or abundance finds you. This is the change your entire waiting period was quietly building toward, Virgo, and it's the one most people watching this won't see coming. You are the sign that works quietly. You show up early, double-check the details no one else thinks to check, and rarely ask for credit while doing it. For a while now, it may have felt like that effort was going completely unnoticed. You've watched other people get praised for doing less, get promoted for talking about work instead of doing it, get credit for ideas you quietly handed them. That imbalance was never going to last. Tonight's moon, still moving through Libra, is lighting up the exact part of your chart connected to self-worth, resources, and value. Libra doesn't let imbalance stand for long, not in the sky and not in the part of your life it's currently illuminating for you. This might arrive as money. It might arrive as an opportunity you didn't apply for. It might arrive as a person finally saying out loud, "I see everything you've been doing." However it shows up, Virgo, notice that it arrives without you forcing it. That's the entire point. The universe is not rewarding your hustle right now. It's rewarding your patience. This is the exhale after a long, quiet season of proving yourself. Let it land fully without immediately searching for the catch. And by July 29th, when the moon grows completely full, everything that quietly begins tonight will be impossible to ignore. Now, Virgo, let's talk about why this waiting happened in the first place. Because I promise you, it was not punishment. Every sign in the zodiac carries an archetype, a deeper role in the story of the wheel. Yours is the archetype of the healer, the refiner, the one who takes something raw and, through patient, careful attention, turns it into something whole. That is sacred work. And sacred work cannot be rushed, even when every part of you wants it to be. Think of Mercury itself. In alchemy, the very element Mercury was considered the substance capable of transforming base metal into gold, but only through patient, repeated refinement, never through force. The waiting you felt was not the universe ignoring you. It was the universe refusing to hand you something before you were fully ready to hold on to it. Think about the version of you that existed 6 months ago. Would that version have been able to receive what's arriving now without shrinking it, without overanalyzing it, without quietly sabotaging it out of fear it wouldn't last? Probably not. And some deeper part of you knew that, even while the rest of you was frustrated by the delay. This is the paradox at the center of every Virgo story. The same discernment that protects you can also become the cage that keeps you waiting long after it's safe to move. Learning to tell the difference between the two is not a weakness. It is the entire curriculum of your spiritual growth this year. This is what real spiritual awakening looks like, Virgo, and it rarely looks like fireworks. It looks like a slow, quiet dismantling of the belief that you have to earn rest, earn love, earn good things through relentless effort and self-correction. Your sign's greatest gift is discernment. Your sign's oldest wound is the belief that you're only as valuable as your usefulness. Tonight is not only about 6 external changes, it's an invitation to release that wound quietly in the space between them. You are being asked to trust something you can't yet see the full shape of. That's uncomfortable for a mind that likes evidence, likes proof, likes to check things twice before believing them. But some of the most important shifts in your life will never arrive with a guarantee attached in advance. They will simply ask you to take one small step before the whole staircase becomes visible. So here is the deeper truth underneath the 6 changes. You are not being handed a reward for finally getting everything right. You are being invited into a version of your life where you no longer have to get everything right in order to receive good things. That is the real ending of the waiting cycle, Virgo. Not just that circumstances shift, but that you finally exhale the old belief that made the waiting feel so heavy in the first place. The sky is simply the mirror tonight. The real transformation has been happening in you the entire time. So what do you actually do with all of this tonight, Virgo? Nothing complicated. Your sign overthinks enough already. This doesn't need to be one more task on the list. Tonight, if you can, take 5 quiet minutes before you sleep. Light a candle if you have one, or simply sit somewhere with the lights low. Place a hand over your chest and say, out loud or silently, something simple. I release the waiting. I trust the timing. I am ready to receive. You don't have to feel completely convinced by those words yet. You only have to let yourself say them. If candles and quiet rituals aren't your style, that's fine too. Write the same words in your notes app, or simply think them clearly while you brush your teeth. The form matters far less than the honesty behind it. Then, notice. Notice the sign that repeats itself over the next 2 days. Notice the message that finally arrives. Notice the person who finally chooses. Notice the moment your body suddenly feels lighter than it has in weeks. You don't have to force any of these 6 changes into existence, Virgo. That has never been your task. Your only task is to stop bracing against a door that is already quietly opening. By the time Mercury officially turns direct on the 23rd, you will already understand in your body what the sky is only just now catching up to confirm. And by the full moon on the 29th, what begins as a whisper tonight will be loud enough for everyone around you to notice. The waiting is over, Virgo, not because you finally did enough, because you were always going to arrive here. And tonight, you finally do. If even one of these 6 changes gave you chills, Virgo, that wasn't a coincidence. That was recognition. Some part of you already knew before I said it out loud. Before you go, do 3 quick things. First, subscribe and turn on notifications because the full moon on July 29th is going to reveal exactly how these 6 changes finish unfolding, and you won't want to miss that reading. Second, comment the word ready below if you felt this one in your body, not just your mind. I read every single one, and I want to know this landed for you. And third, if there's another Virgo in your life, a friend, a sister, a partner, who's been quietly waiting just like you have, send this to them right now. They need to hear this today, not next week. Thank you for trusting me with these few minutes of your night, Virgo. Whatever door has felt closed, it's opening. I'll see you in the next reading. Until then, trust the timing. It already knows what it's doing.